of the game we never got to finish. Play for blood.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Not today.
All right. Fucking it, bro. Yo. Struggling already. Peace, power, prosperity to the village gang. Thank you for hanging out while I figured that little situation out. At least I'm learning, I guess, some way, somehow. If we all look at the silver lining, right? At least I'm learning technical difficulty bullshit. Yo, hope all is well. It's a beautiful Thursday. I know I've been off schedule. That's why last couple of weeks. That's why I ran into Kofa out of last 3 weeks. I think I ran into Kofa twice, but I'll get back on schedule. Don't worry. Either that or create a whole new schedule where I still, be out the way so I can enjoy other shows or whatever the case is, do research for this show or whatever the case is. But yo, peace, power, prosperity to the village gang. Y'all know how we get down from the crown to the ground. Hope everybody's having a beautiful Thursday, the day after hump day. And like my man Kofa says, Friday Eve. Today shouldn't be crazy long. Shouldn't be a long show. It really shouldn't. 1, 2. Those two are loaded. Ready to go. Housekeeping wise, all is well over here. Like, share, subscribe, hit the button, share it. Usual suspects already in the town square. Y'all already know what to do, ladies. Kick up your feet, have no fear. Relax your hair. No shots. No beers. But yes, you can have some wine up in here. Generals, y'all know what to do. When shit fuck up your groove, bro, really do fuck up your groove. I fucking swear. But this one's called Boogie Man. So today we're about to talk about the Boogie Man. The Boogie Man. And for the intro, let me get ready for the intro. Give me a quick spinny so I can shake it off and get back at it. Yo. So there's this thing that we always say, right? And how it's normally described is like the boogeyman. It's always some bad guy somewhere. Somebody always needs to fight. There's always some war going on. There's always a need for like this overarching sense of like who's the next bad guy, if I could say that. There's always another fucking bad guy. There's always a boogeyman. Always a boogeyman. Shit just they never chill, and they never calm, and they never know relaxation, right? It's like it's like we're living in a pressure cooker these days. Every time you turn around, there's something new. It's something new. It's something new. And really and truly, this shit's starting to look real organized. Starting to look real organized and real unorganic. You hear me? The song was the booty. Yeah, for sure. Every single time you turn around, it's something new. And I'm trying to remove humans, right? Like human reaction from it. Like the LA riots. Trying to remove that from it. Trying to remove the BLM. Even though all those things look organized and don't look organic at all. Try to remove those things from it. I'm thinking about it in a different perspective, right? Like there's a always looming fear of somebody out there that wants to do harm. That's what I'm talking about. It's always this boogeyman effect, right? And for some reason, the boogeyman appears and the solution also appears. Remember a while ago we talked about the Patriot Act and how all the disclosures that came out of the tower attacks just seemed hella wonky, right? And there's hundreds of hours of video on this, hundreds of hours of video on it. You could believe stand where you want to stand on it. That's completely fine. But it just seemed too right. And when things seem too right, too timey, too perfect, too well put together, Spidey senses should start going off. You just start wondering how these things. Jesus. I just have this timing effect. Timing meaning the solution to the issue, right? We went through the whole scenario just now the other day with the jab. Wasn't that kind of crazy? That the remedy for the issue was just that easy to not only have but to manufacture at that rate. I think that's the one we could all tend to gravitate to, right? The jab scenario. And the bats out of a cave and people eating bats and eating bat soup. And yeah, it was a form of the SARS virus and all this other shit. You got it. Cool. But it just seemed a little too weird for me. So today we're about to talk about this boogeyman. But it's literally called the Hegelian Dialect. And pretty much it's, if I created the problem, that means I draw you in to look to me to solve the problem. Or another way, look at it like this. I create the problem, put the problem upon you, and turn around and give you the solution to the problem. Titled The Just and Sinner.
So now we get to Hegel's dialectic.
Now I don't got no sound on this shit. What the fuck is going on today, yo? Now I have no sound again.
Hegel's dialectic is the most well-known.
Boy, I tell you, boy. Y'all can hear him clear.
Air.
I can hear what this dude's saying.
area of his thought, but often misunderstood. And to be honest, it's very hard to explain. It's just hard to explain. Okay, so I'm going to do the best I can.
Trying. I'm trying. I'm fucking trying. And it's not making sense.
And in a brief time period. So, okay, relations in classical philosophy, if you look at, say, Aristotle, how one thing relates to another thing, those are accidental qualities. What I mean by that is, if a relation is an accidental quality, relations don't define what a thing is. That doesn't mean they're unimportant, but a thing retains its essence regardless of how it relates to another thing. Okay, so identities are found within things themselves, and relations are separate objects that really exist coming into contact with each other. They can change each other for sure, but relations do not define what a thing is. For Hegel, relations are not, we're not talking about external relations. We're not talking about just one object bumping into another object and relating to it. Instead, we are saying that how a thing relates to other things, or how a person relates to other persons, those are actually essential to an essence or an identity. So how I relate to something defines who I am. So I am defined by my relations. And this makes sense within his monistic perspective, because all things are really one. So there are no just purely external relations, because we're all part of one unified thing in Hegel's view. So he would say that internal relations, so relations within things, make a thing what it is. So an essence is defined by its relations, and that includes tensions. So that includes conflict. So a thing is defined by its relations, and often in those relations comes conflict. And the world spirit develops through this conflict, because that conflict is overcome as this world spirit grows. So this is what is often summarized in Hegel as this thesis, antithesis, synthesis perspective. Now, to be clear, thesis, antithesis, synthesis never shows up in Hegel. His most famous idea isn't even in his writings, strange as that is. It does show up, I believe it shows up in Schelling first, but it does end up being a tool that some immediate followers of Hegel start to use to describe his thought. So there's some debate as to how accurate it is to his thought. And I tend to think that it is helpful because this is so convoluted. I think it's a helpful way to explain things, but it's not exact or comprehensive. So it's kind of a simplification of what he says. But here's the idea. The idea is, you posit one idea. One idea shows up in history. Someone says, I don't like that, and they posit the opposite idea. And then those two things kind of battle it out. And then out of that comes this conclusion that is a synthesis of these two ideas. And that is kind of what he's talking about when we speak about this dialectical relationship that includes these tensions. So the world spirit has conflicts and overcomes those conflicts. But it's all within this Geist, or this world spirit. So it's not like a person over here and a person over here that are separate from one another, because the tensions are essential to reality itself. Reality includes those tensions and the overcoming of those tensions. Okay, which then Kierkegaard is going to challenge later. But so the absolute, or this absolute that underlies all things, comes to this self-realization. So the process of the world spirit, or the process of the Geist, is one of continual self-realization. So the absolute, this world spirit, this Geist grows. It comes to know itself better. And it does that through a growth in rationality and freedom. Those are essential. And so you see this influence of Kant on Hegel's thought, as he's saying it becomes more rational. So we become more rational as time goes on, because as the Geist is coming to know itself, it becomes more rational. And as it is more rational, it then acts more rationally and thereby is more free. Okay. Hegel is going to describe a reality in three aspects, and Hegel uses threes a lot. I do think this is his theological background, his Trinitarian background, and he uses the Trinity in some ways to describe reality, though he has an odd interpretation of the Trinity. But these are three aspects of reality that are essential. One is logic, so we're talking about rationality. He's still not really going to be talking about universal principles of rationality. He's going to place that within the historical process. And then he's going to talk about nature. But nature, not just in the sense that nature runs its course, but also the Geist starts to come to self-understanding. So we're talking about this growth and understanding of natural laws and how nature functions. So we grow, the Geist grows through reason and self-understanding as nature. We begin to understand the reality of nature that's showing up in his historical epoch. And then we have spirit. Spirit is the underlying fundamental reality, which is consciousness. We have subjects and objects, which are really one. He's not going to totally conflate subject and objects, but they're both part of this spirit. Logic and nature are both encapsulated by spirit as this underlying reality.
All right, cool. About to do a quick read on this real quick. This is a quick read. Let me share this. All right, boom, here it goes. Hegelian dialect, often summarized as the problem reaction solution, describe a method of manipulation where a problem is created to elicit the reaction from public, leading to a pre-planned solution. Thesis is the problem. A problem is introduced or created. This could be crisis, conflict, or any situation that generates concern among the public. Public being, let's just say public is society, right? Antithesis. The public's reaction to the problem, often with fear, panic, or demand for action. You see it? You see it right here? I am, without you knowing that the problem, right, was generated by me, you run back to me for the solution to the problem. Look at the food stamp crazy shit that we just went through, right? Think about it. Think about it. It's a constant evolution. You keep running back to the same people that's been fucking you over for so long and for so long and for so long. You can't get off the hamster wheel. You just stuck in this cycle. I'll read it one more time. Antithesis, reaction. Public reacts to the problem, often with fear, panic, or a demand for action. This reaction is crucial as it sets the stage for part 3. The synthesis, solution. Solution is presented, which is often a response to the public's demand for action. This solution may involve changes or measures that would not have been accepted under normal circumstances. One and two. Let's talk about the jab one more time. We're seeing the line be crossed between privacy, government, and let's just say medical institutions, right? Which is, what's the proper term for them? I want to say pharma, but pharma is just one arm of it, right? Big pharma is not just, big pharma is the companies, but doctors still push products, right? Fuck, let's call on the big pharma house. Big pharma house. Go on the big pharma house for now. They incentivize people to go take the jab. Incentivized you. You cannot go out with, if you can't go to the baseball game, can't go to NBA game, can't do this, you can't do that if you do not comply with what we say. Ain't that strange? Nobody thought that to be strange. That businesses were saying, if you do this and get the job and you have proof of it, because all of a sudden everybody's a fucking doctor now, then it's 15% off. Nobody thought that that concerts were giving discounts for people that did take the jab. No, nobody think that was weird. Nobody thought that was kind of out of pocket, right? So now they're pretty much putting you in a corral of what you can't do. You can't travel. You want to go? You want to get on this plane? You want to get on this plane? You sure you want to get on this plane? I guess what? Gotta go get that jab, buddy. You are corralled into scenarios and situations. Look at the towers. Let's go back to the boogeyman. Look at the tower situation when the towers fell, right? I've asked so many people this simple question. Have you ever heard the name Bin Laden prior to this? Simple question. Have you ever heard the name Bin Laden prior to the towers? I've not heard it, yes. Up to today, I've not heard somebody say, yes, I knew the name Bin Laden before the towers fell. Not one. So in the midst of the heartbreak, in the midst of people in fear and panic demanded for action. So there was that stage 2. We know what we know what thesis was, right? We know what problem was. We know what the problem was. We know what the antithesis was. What was the solution? The Patriot Act. How does this fall in? The solution, Jesus Christ. The solution may involve, stop it. The solution may involve changes or measures that would not have been accepted under normal circumstances. There's always a boogeyman. Ain't been a time that we have not had a boogeyman. And I tell you what, when there ain't one, they give you one. Just that simple. We could let's read the conclusion. Understand that Hegelian dialect is essential for recognizing how problems can be manufactured or exaggerated to elicit specific reactions from the public, ultimately leading to solutions that may infringe upon freedoms and alter societal structures. Awareness of this framework can empower individuals to critically assess the motivations behind political actions and media narratives. I didn't write this. But it's right here, plain Jane, clear as day. You know, read the historical context. Throughout history, various leaders and governments have been accused of using this dialect to manipulate people's perception and gain control. Such events as wars, economic crises, or other social unrest can serve as a catalyst for this process, allowing those in power to implement solutions that consolidate their authority. Think about us just talking in normal general terms amongst each other. And say, man, it's always a bad guy. There's always somebody out there Always some bullshit ready to happen. Somebody always doing something. Imagine us thinking that way, right? And come to find out it's a whole term for it. It's a whole ideology for it. But it makes sense because we thought about it naturally. We naturally did this. Then come to find out, boom, it's called a Hegelian dialect. Isn't that two factors that makes what you witnessed even more true? Does it not become more gravitational at that point? Is it not more grounding? You thought about it by yourself naturally. You just had a natural thought, like this shit's kind of weird. How is something always just going on? Like there is no rest. There's no civil rest. Come to find out, it's a whole ideology behind it. Whole ideology. The Hegelian dialect is a philosophical framework attributed to the German philosopher George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. A whole dude. Ideology. He's a philosopher. Philosophical framework are already in place. What you're thinking is true. What you're witnessing is true. What you're going through and experiencing is fucking true. I just made Bizarro Land. I made Bizarro Land for a reason. I'm dropping off the little pieces. These little pieces. You're not going crazy. You're not losing your mind. The things you're witnessing are real things. Very real things. That feeling that you have, what? So you mean to tell me I can't wake up one day and not see a mass somebody losing their mind and doing an MS? Gotta take my kid to school today and some asshole not commit a MS. It's real. But let me tell you why it's real. And then we'll move on to the next subject. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because there's another part to this Hegelian dialect that I want to bring up. I know I only brought up the COVID thing and I only brought up the towers, but there's another part to it. There's another part to this. And this is last 10 years. That's all I did. 10 years. Garland, Texas. Boston, Massachusetts. Oh, somebody got poked up. South Carolina, Charleston, MS. Dylan Roof. Chattanooga, Tennessee. MS, California. Another MS, Minnesota. Oh, Minneapolis. Another MS, Colorado Springs. MS, San Bernardino, California. A fire explosion, Grand Forks, North Dakota. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Melee in Ohio. That sounds kind of funny. Melee. The MS and hostage hostage situation. Orlando nightclub. I never remember that one. Roanoke, VA. Somebody got poked up. Somebody got poked up again, St. Cloud, Minnesota. New Jersey, NY, 2016. Columbus, Ohio. Oh, I remember this one. The Sword in New York. Yeah, I remember this one. Tree Forks, Montana, MS. Portland, Oregon. Somebody got poked up. Alexandria, Virginia. Attempted MS. Oh, this was the one buddy from. This was the one with the dude from Louisiana at the baseball game. Yep, I think this is it. Bernie Sanders, James Hodgins. I think I remember this one. Bloomington, Minnesota. Minnesota on here a lot, bro. Explosion. Yo, legend, what up, G? Big salute to you, my boy. Vehicle attack. Charlottesville, Virginia. I never heard about Charlottesville, Virginia before. Damn, okay. The demonstrators. Charlottesville, Virginia? I thought that was South Carolina. Hold up. Vehicle ramming. North Dakota. MS. Burnett Chapel. Antioch, Tennessee. NYC, vehicle ramming attack. Explosion. A full-on bodyguard dropped. The reason why these are here, that was just 2017. That was 15 to 17, right? And you can see it's year after year after year. Now you're about to go to 2020. January 6th. Vehicle attack. Laguna Woods, San Francisco, California, Jacksonville, Florida. Butler, Pennsylvania is on here. West Palm. This one right here. This West Palm one right here. That's the interesting one. This is the one where the guy, right, is attached to Diddy. This one right here. This one's crazy interesting. Vehicles in New Orleans. Yep, I remember that one. Yep, Cybertruck in Vegas. Remember that one? Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. See, year after year after year after year after year after year after year. Some shit going on. Some shit is going on nonstop. Part two to this is where I dig into why I think chaos is generated. I don't have a name for it yet or when I'm shooting it, but I have to be soon. The Saturday's already spoken for, but I meant Annunciation Church. This was just the other day. In the church. Yep. In Minnesota. But yeah, part two, I'll talk more about why I think these things are generated and why that Hegelian dialect, that concept, came to my mind and where I drew it from. But that was it for the Hegelian dialect. Yo, quick spinny and we going right back out of here. Yo. Snake Eyes movie. Kind of old. Wonder if I could play that trailer and not get in trouble. Wonder if I could play the trailer and not get in trouble. It's on YouTube, so. Let me play the trailer real quick. Then we roll right into it.
I'm on TV. Hi, Rick Santoro. Hello, Richard Santoro. I'm Ricky, and I am the king! A pepperoni, sausage, Canadian bacon. Listen, why don't you just get to the watch and save time, all right? Look, I got business. Call me back in 5. There he is! There's the man whose life I want!
And now, the distinguished Secretary of Defense.
Great idea. Put a flashing light on your head while you're at it.
Why are you so uptight? It's fight night!
Running security tonight. I got a lot on my mind.
Watch carefully.
That seem right to you?
Devin, that is right in so many ways.
No, I mean, beautiful woman alone at a fight.
A crime is about to be committed.
Now listen to me, Mr. Secretary. I am telling you, you're the one that's going to be sorry.
You will be a witness. And the hardest thing to spot will be the truth.
I'm a homicide detective and a material witness. You can't hold 14,000 people. There's 14,000 eyewitnesses!
We have 1,500 cameras. 800 on the casino side, 720 on the hotel side. What are you looking for?
It was a phantom punch! You sat down exactly when they wanted you to. They didn't miss him with that second shot. Missed you.
I'm betting that the redhead you follow is the same person who told Tyler to throw the fight. She's 1. Shooter's 2. Tyler's 3. The drunk who shouted the signals 4. And whoever was on the other end of that radio was 5.
5 people make a conspiracy, right?
It sounds like he's conducting a very dangerous investigation.
I'm not gonna let you kill her.
Please, Rick. You're all alone on this. The house wins.
All right, that's the trailer. I remember seeing that movie. Pretty old, honestly. Either way. You know, over here, I say this shit all the time. Ain't no such thing as coincidence. Don't believe in them. I ain't jacking it. I don't think coincidences are real. I think we make decisions. I think we energize things. I think we put things in motion. Ain't no such thing as coincidence. Firmly believe in that. When things happen on their own, it ain't coincidence, right? That's my disclaimer. That's my preload for the next video. Because this shit here is a little fucking trippy. You dig it? Cuzzo, what up? LC, what up? What up? What up? What up? Peace. Y'all know what to do when y'all hit the town square. Hit them buttons, Dooney. Let me kill that. Kill that. I'll keep that one. And it's not that I left the Charlie Kirk scenario alone, right? Still tracking it. But at this point, let me be kind of frank. It's a ton of fuckery. It's a ton of fuckery every single where you fucking turn. None of this shit really adding up. The rubber really ain't hitting the road. And I think earlier on, I think it was me and Kofa, we started talking about bullet caliber, rifle range, and all that good stuff. I think we also stumbled upon the what's it called? The significant other of the alleged suspect, right? The person who's suspected of doing it. I think we ran across that, and I think we both said something's wrong over there. And the more it goes on, it seems to be real oppy. It definitely seems like the significant other had some play in it, especially when we look at the psychological leanness of someone, right? Some people are emotionally lean, some people are emotionally lean, psychologically lean, physically lean. Some people aren't. And when push comes to shove, if you had to look at both these two people that they put in front of us, which was Tyler and the other one, can't remember the other one name, but the one that lives a different lifestyle. They both live alternate lifestyles, but one is just way to the right, in my opinion. Kofa, what up, G? I think it was me and Kofa. Oh, maybe me and Reaper. But we definitely said that the significant other to Tyler is definitely strange. And all of a sudden they disappeared, which makes it even stranger, right? With that being said, I've not stepped away from the Charlie Kirk stuff. I'm still looking at it, still looking into it. But it's just so much mud. It is so much mud everywhere, dog. It is. If I didn't have a job, I'll be able to do it. I'll be able to shoot 2 times a day and focus in on that one and focus in on my personal content that I like to make, right? Which about kind of about life and thoughts and stuff like that. Until we having fuck off day, and then we just fucking off in the IG vault. But same speed. I'm still tracking it. I'll drop a video soon. Stand by for that. But these things are connected. The Charlie Kirk shit is connected to the Hegelian dialect we just spoke about. Don't get these things are not as separate as people tend to see them or not portray them, perceive them. People perceive it to be so separate and so and so far from each other that that is really a lot of these things touch. It's like spaghetti almost. M Love, what up, G? Big salute. Stay safe out there on them roads, my boy. these things are not as separate as people see them to be. A lot of these things are interconnected. And I already showed y'all a map how I interconnected a bunch of people already. And with their own reasoning. So with that in mind, since I started doing that, I never stopped looking at things. Well, I've always seen things as connected, but that'll be a good way for me to portray it to you, if that makes more sense. It's a good way for me to show you, or for even me to keep track of it. Me even keep track of how this person knows this person, or whatever the case is, when I'm looking at these corrupt motherfuckers running around. It's a good for me to keep track. Also, it's also good for me to show you, if y'all can understand my handwriting. But we about to play this video right here, and like I said, ain't no such thing as coincidence. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I can't be convinced about it. Shout out to Didi. Shout out to Didi. I found this video over there by Didi, and I was like, fuck. I can't even say nothing. I can't even say nothing. All right, here we go. Let's start right here. Didi doesn't talk too fast, so I could speed it up a little bit.
That Erica Kirk, her eyes in particular have creeped me out. And I'm not the only person that have noticed it, because on Patreon, I shared a video of a young lady who did all the research and did all the work.
Of her eye colors recently, rep these frame by frame. The majority of them just blurry. Could go and do media search. Her eye is completely darkened, even though it's open. And it's really, really weird. And when I was asking around why this exact the horror Babylon, that's the.
But I'm not even going to focus on that, because that's the part where y'all will start to call us conspiracy.
This is the part I want.
So let's just focus on the undeniable facts. This 1998 film right here that you're looking at was produced by a guy by the name of Brian D. Palmer. Brian D. Palmer was born September the 11th, 1940. Now, we all know the significance of the date September the 11th, without me having to say it. We all have heard the conspiracies surrounding September the 11th and potentially other countries that could have been involved. But another reason why that date is going to be important for this video is because the day before September the 11th is September the 10th, which is the day that Charlie Kirk lost his life. All of this is going to be relevant for this video. Please keep that in mind. Now, as it pertains to the synopsis of this film, this story basically takes place during a heavyweight boxing match in Atlantic City. Nicolas Cage plays a person named Rick Santoro, who is a flashy, corrupt cop who witnesses the assassination of the U.S. Secretary of Defense during the fight. The arena goes into lockdown, and Santoro teams up with his old friend, Navy Commander Kevin Dunn, to find the shooter. And as Santoro investigates, he uncovers a web of conspiracy, betrayal, and cover-ups. And one last thing I want to point out about this movie cover is in the bottom right corner. It says, "Watch closely, August 7th." And I just thought it was interesting because August 7th of this year, there was a headline that came out that says 4 more Palestinians starved to death in Gaza as Israeli settlers attack aid convoys from Jordan. This will be relevant in this video.
What? Who are you? Where? My lucky number. What?
So what you're witnessing here is Nicolas Cage just got a...
Yo, how this is put together is so wild, G. It's so wild. And this is why no coincidence don't exist, dog. There's another one. There's another video I seen. Dog, I promise you. Isn't that Dan? That is Dan, huh? That is Dan from Forrest Gump. Good catch. That does look like Dan from Forrest Gump. Dog, coincidence don't exist. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
Phone call. Sitting to his left is Secretary of Defense. Would you like to know the name of the Secretary of Defense? His name is Charles Kirkland. I'm going to say it again. This character's name is Charles Kirkland. And look at where he was supposedly hit by the bullet. On the left side of his neck. Look at who witnessed this happen. A female who's a blonde standing in all white. Does this look familiar? Does this look familiar? But let's continue. I want you to notice as well that this character that has on blonde hair, that I believe is supposed to be symbolic. Not necessarily that maybe whoever's supposed to be this person in real life, that blonde is not the color of their hair. No, I think this is supposed to be symbolic to say that this person right here in this film was not who they appeared to be, right? They had on the disguise. They were being someone or pretending to be someone that they were not. That part is extremely significant as well, because this is the boxer who has now went down. This will be extremely important here in a second. But before we move on to the next part that is very important, let's point out what he was told moments before this all took place. As we can see here, the all-seeing eye. We see the all-seeing eye, and right below it, what do we see? Something that appears to look like twin pillars with the letter M on the top of both of them. They look like to be a free.
Y'all see what he's talking about? Powell Pay, the eye. You see what he's talking about? Now, that's the reason why he's bringing that up. I think you get the gist of it. Hold on, let me go back. I think you get the gist of it. Why?
It's extremely significant as well because this is the boxer who has now went down. This will be extremely important here in a second. But before we move on to the next part that is very important, let's point out what he was told moments before this all took place. As we can see here, the all-seeing eye. We see the all-seeing eye, and right below it, what do we see? Something that appears to look like twin pillars with the letter M on the top of both of them. They look like to be a Freemasonic lodge, and the M could stand for Mason. But let's listen to what he was told.
Lucky number. My lucky number.
His lucky number, and it's the number 7. What is the 7th alphabet? It is the letter G, which just so happens to be the letter on the ring of Erica Kirk when she was supposedly or allegedly rubbing and touching the body of Charlie Kirk. But I don't know too many people who actually believe that was Charlie Kirk in that casket, but I digress. Everything in this video is alleged. And here you can see a better view of the so-called exit, which once again looks like 2 twin pillars for Freemasonic lodges, in my opinion. Once again, you see the all-seeing eye to your top left, and we see the American flag. So this is supposed to be a very patriotic event, so to speak. And here's the boxer that allegedly went down, which could also be viewed as a decoy. But let's further figure out why this is important.
Hear that storm out there? I wish it would blow this whole town.
No. Who's she?
She's the one who came to me in the first place, told me I was supposed to go down. I never met anybody else but her.
Did you get a name?
Yeah, name, address, serial number, 8x10 color picture. You want to look at that too?
Did you hear what this person just said? This is the boxer explaining to Nicolas Cage that he was told beforehand that when everything goes down or when everything starts to become chaotic, he's supposed to go down. Would you like to know the name of this character, this boxer, who was supposed to go down when everything took place? The boxer's name is Tyler. The person that was supposed to be the fall guy or the guy that's supposed to go.
Y'all keep running around here thinking shit coinky dinky. Tyler? All them names ain't running in the same circle like that. I ain't jacking it.
Down when everything takes place, the boxer's name is Tyler, i.e. Tyler Robinson. Does that sound familiar to anybody? But we're not done.
Storm out there.
Because at the beginning of this clip, as you just heard, he said, "Do you hear this storm out there?" Listen to what Nicolas Cage says in response.
I wish it would blow this whole town.
No. Who's she?
She's the one who came to me in the first.
He said, "Who's she?" He mentioned something about a storm. Nicolas Cage responds and says, No, who is she? Let's take a listen to what was said during Charlie Kirk's memorial.
Erica is the storm. Erica is the storm.
You heard it first. He said Erica is the storm. But let's move on. Yesterday when I was watching Candace Owens' show, by the way, in my Erica Kirk video, which is my last post, many of you were saying that you sent it.
Shout out to Candace going hard. Riding for the homies.
This video, you sent that video to other larger content creators. If you send this video right here to Candace Owens and she chooses not to cover it, then we'll know for a fact that Candace Owens is controlled opposition, because what I'm about to show you is undeniable. She covered yesterday on her show a clip from Megyn Kelly, and I remember watching it thinking that's a very random and odd thing to share at this time, but still Megyn Kelly decided to share it. Let's take a listen to what Megyn Kelly told us.
Last week, that 2 weeks before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the far-left website Jezebel declared that it had a mission to cast bad luck or a curse on Charlie. They wanted to hurt him in some way. They declared, quote, "If the far-right misogynist with a bad haircut wants to villainize independent women, Jezebel is..."
Yo, this Jezebel thing from Etsy is fucking wild. You could pretty much go on Etsy and buy jewelry, buy people's homemade crafts. Like during the jab scenario, right, when we was all locked in the crib, Etsy went crazy. I ain't never seen so many motherfucking women become fucking famous for making tumblers in my life. Just tumbler after tumbler, cup after cup, just pure house. I mean, house hustling, to be honest. The reality is they saw their house hustling to put bread on their table or make some extra bread on the side. This shit was like fucking wildfire. It was fucking wildfire, dog. Everybody had an Etsy shop. Everybody had a what's this thing? Facebook. What's the one on Facebook? She's not gonna let that go. Oh yeah, G. Oh yeah. I'm gonna address that in a little bit. Everybody had a Etsy joint, a Facebook joint. Click the link. They shipped. Wait, hold on. You've been here this whole time, and now all of a sudden you're officially. All of a sudden you are arts and crafty type of mouth. That shit blew my. I'm telling you, dog. It blew my mind. T-shirts, masks. Oh, the first one was the mask. When everybody got tired of wearing the blue and white bullshit mask you get from the hospital, the white mask you would get from CVS, or like the black mask. I think CVS had the black mask too. Who had the? I never had the black mask. I got the black mask from my job actually. But when people got tired of wearing those masks, they started making different masks, and they was giving it it was like elastic on the fucking it was like elastic on the ears. It was softer material for those that were big. I was like, yo, I have never seen women get so fucking creative so fucking fast in my fucking life. So the reality is that means to tell you that they have the fucking ability to do whatever the fuck they choose. They just choose not to. That's exactly what Marketplace. Marketplace is the one. Yeah. Facebook Marketplace. People could say what they want to say about Candace, addressing Kofa. People could say what they want to say. They could pull up her history, kick her back in about things she doesn't talk about or do talk about. Kick her back in about her changes she's made in her life. Kick her back in about who she hangs out with or who she considers to be friends or allies or whatever the case is. But you can't kick her back in about dedication. When she wanted to give France Macron and them smoke, it was full on smoke. It was blood raw. When she went to go give Kamala smoke, blood raw. Those are people she don't even know. She knew Charlie Kirk. What the fuck you think it's finna be? It's blood raw times 10. I don't care what nobody say. She's pulling this thing completely apart, dog. She's pulling it completely up. She's pulling this shit to shreds. It's gonna look like fucking pulled pork when it's done. She's pulling this shit to shreds. I'm talking about every small thing. She's paying it, investigate it. I'm sure she's not working by herself, right? I'm sure her team is running with her, which is dope. If you got the bread to have a team to help, absolutely. I'm jealous I don't have a fucking team. Shit. If I had a team, fuck. You get tired of seeing my fucking face. I'll be everywhere. I'll be everywhere. Everyone got creative with the mask. Bro, I remember seeing gangbanger masks, Pan-Africanism masks. I seen nation masks, sports teams masks. But then what happened was too, the corporations, these textile companies or these manufacturers that know how to make that know how to make shit real fast, they jumped on this shit fast. So one day I was sliding to Walmart, and this Mexican lady and her kid was out there with, I'm talking about hella fucking masks. A 304 mask. The 304 mask had a hole in the front. It was just for their nose. It was just like this. That's how the 304 mask was. All right, gang, I hear you. So she had a trunk. Her trunk was lifted up, but she had like rigged the system. She could like hang a bunch of masks out. Hang a bunch of masks. She had how the fuck you divorce your ball and chain with the ball and chain and you feel like they could call you whenever they want to call you? I'm telling you, bro. Some fucked up out here in these streets, bro, on the gang. But G, yo, I seen all types of masks. So the lady had all these masks. She had it was Dodgers, Raiders. She had all the NFL teams. She did have all NFL teams, some basketball teams. She had the anime ones. She had anime mask, Pokemans. So she had hella fucking masks, bro. You know I got the Raider joint. True to it. And if YouTube groups were the same location, we put out on stage. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Not only our own station, though. We have that would be a fucking state. That would be like a hub. That would be like a hub. That's true. Yeah, it was mass. It was hella mass she had. I got the Raider joint. I was trying to get she ain't had no hockey ones though. So, but it was all good though. But that's to tell you how that thing that when woman kind of was forced into making bread, figured it out. Figured out ASAP. They figured it out. I seen cups and I seen masks for and shirts. Shirts not so much because people press shirts people press shirts seasonally from what I've seen. Like when people have those home, I don't want to call them fucking sweatshops, but fuck it, sweatshop. Those home setups, they press them up in seasons like graduation seasons and reunions and all the other things. So they press in seasons. They're not pressing constantly. But definitely mask and cups went fucking I don't even know why cups went crazy. But mask for sure went crazy, bro. Absolutely went fucking crazy. But back to the shit. Y'all fucking derailers.
Is more than happy to be the hag of his nightmares. And they went on to the website Etsy. Yes, Etsy. To quote, cast a curse on him. Yes, this is actually a thing. Etsy, the website known for making arts and crafts on demand, will happily cast a hex through its witches, who you can hire, on someone if you ask them to. 2.5 weeks after those curses were requested and cast, 2 days after Jezebel published that article, Charlie was killed by an assassin's bullet. Erica and Charlie Kirk heard about these curses, and that news genuinely rattled Erica in particular. She knew Christian teaching on the subject. She loved Charlie, absolutely.
Why would you specify and say that a wife loves her husband? Why would you go out of your way to say that? Well, of course, they're married. That's a very odd thing to say. But let's continue.
And she was scared when she heard.
Let me go back. Let me go back in here. Because in conversational flow, not really.
Charlie was killed by an assassin's bullet. Erica and Charlie Kirk heard about these on site Etsy. Yes, Etsy, to quote, cast a curse on him. Yes, this is actually a thing. Etsy, the website known for making arts and crafts on demand, will happily cast a hex through its witches, who you can hire, on someone if you ask them to. 2.5 weeks after those curses were requested and cast, 2 days after Jezebel published that article, Charlie was killed by an assassin's bullet. Erica and Charlie Kirk heard about these curses, and that news genuinely rattled Erica in particular. She knew Christian teaching on the subject. She loved Charlie, absolutely.
Why would you specify and say that a wife loves her husband? Why would you go out of your way to say that? Well, of course, they're married. That's a very odd thing to say. But let's continue.
And she was scared when she heard of the curses Jezebel had called up. So much so that she and Charlie contacted a friend who I believe she said.
That's not too much out of place, G. Love, fear. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't hang your hat on that one, G. I do think you do some really decent work.
That was a Catholic.
I do respect your mind too. So shout out to you, Didi.
Like priest, but definitely a friend, and asked him to come over and pray with them over Charlie the night before he was murdered.
This is more proof, in my opinion,
that
they're using a lot of these folks to try to get people into Catholicism. This is marketing. This is all that this stuff is, in my opinion. Everything I say in this video is alleged. Now I want you all to take a listen after Megyn Kelly decided to share this random story about some hex that was put on Charlie Kirk and how Erica Kirk in particular was so bothered and frazzled and rattled with an emphasis on Jezebel, which if you don't know Jezebel in the scriptures, on 1 Kings 16.
I don't know if this is random. Was it? I don't know, because this is clips from your program. But if you're saying it's random, sure.
Through 21, Jezebel is the queen of Israel.
You know what? I take your word for it. I take the fact that you have some journalistic integrity, and I'll take your word for that. It was random. The love thing, I don't think the love thing was out of place. That's her husband. She loves him. They went to go seek. Yeah, I think that's how women fucking talk too at the same time, though, my G. Like, women have filler things inside of conversations, so I don't see that.
Israel, known for wickedness and idolatry. One would even say promiscuity. Let's listen to a clip from the movie Snake Eyes.
Along with 14,000 fight fans who have braved Hurricane Jezebel.
Cut! Anthea, they want you to call it a tropical storm, not a hurricane.
But it is a hurricane.
Yeah, well, it's also a holiday weekend, so will you please just call it a tropical storm?
Well, it looks like Tropical Storm Jezebel just may be a hurricane after all.
Anybody still in denial? For the people that's spamming my Patreon, since I made one video free, some people decided to go over there and spam me and tell me how Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk are such good people and this stuff can't be true. But what about the facts that I'm sharing? There's a reason I have a playlist on this channel called More Than a Coincidence. Do you have an explanation for this? And notice how they say.
What did he say?
I do agree, Bungie. I don't think coincidence exists at all. I don't do coincidences, though. Can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, they didn't just say Jezebel, but she said, well, maybe it is a hurricane. Maybe it is a storm. There's that storm. There's the Jezebel. But let's continue, because let's talk more about the Fall Guy narrative.
Sympathies to the Secretary's family, and to the nation, to the people that he so faithfully and proudly served. And I have something else to say. To those that would try to bully us or to terrorize us, to divert us from the causes of peace and justice. I want you to know that in spite of what's happened here tonight, we are not deterred. And the plan I bought, that prairie populist who is criminally dismantling the entire armed forces, goes down. The disloyal employee, she goes down with him. The fanatical terrorist, he takes the rap.
The air guard missile contract is approved, and I get enough money to finish the goddamn millennium. It was a good plan.
Did you hear that? But for the
Is that more Hegelian dialect?
people in the back, or the people who may not still understand what they just listened to, the first half of this clip was the commander or maybe the president talking about addressing the nation and saying that if you think that this was going to deter us, well, the opposite happened. This sounds almost identical to what Erica Kirk said during her tribute video to Charlie Kirk and to the nation right after he was assassinated. When she said in so many words, you've awakened something in this country and we're not going to stop. We're only going to get stronger. It literally sounds identical.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination.
Yo.
I told you, I'm a man of my word. Where's the Italian?
The Reaper is officially in the banner as today. Sponsor my G. Appreciate you, bro. You know what, y'all been hella smooth, dog. As much as I've been out the way these last 2 weeks, y'all been holding it down for me, man. I appreciate it. You know how we get down over here, G. Reaper sent me a donation, so he gets one more decent donation too. Shout out to 3-star General Reaper.
The opposite happened. The
fanatical terrorists.
In spite of what's happened here tonight, we are not deterred.
And the plan I bought, that prairie populace who is criminally dismantling the entire armed forces, goes down. The disloyal employee, she goes down with him. The fanatical terrorist, he takes the rap. The air guard missile contract is approved, and I get enough money to finish the goddamn millennium. It was a good plan.
Did you hear that? But for the people in the back, or the people who may not still understand what they just listened to, the first half of this clip was the commander or maybe the president talking about addressing the nation and saying that if you think that this was going to deter us, well, the opposite happened. This sounds almost identical to what Erica Kirk said during her tribute video to Charlie Kirk and to the nation right after he was assassinated. When she said in so many words, you've awakened something in this country and we're not going to stop. We're only going to get stronger. It literally sounds identical.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done.
This is the part right here. That's a little fucking weird. And I thought I was tripping.
And the plan I bought, that prairie populace who is criminally dismantling the entire armed forces, goes down. The disloyal employee, she goes down with him. The fanatical terrorist, he takes the rap. The air guard missile contract is approved, and I get enough money to finish the goddamn millennium. It was a good plan.
Did you hear that? But for the people in the back, or the people who may not still understand what they just listened to, the first half of this clip was the commander or maybe the president talking about addressing the nation and saying that if you think that this was going to deter us, well, the opposite happened. This sounds almost identical to what Erica Kirk said during her tribute video to Charlie Kirk and to the nation right after he was assassinated. When she said in so many words, you've awakened something in this country and we're not going to stop. We're only going to get stronger. It literally sounds identical.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. They should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea.
The last part of this clip that you're listening to is the president talking about how the fall guy, and they had everything planned out. And I guess everything started to unravel, but I'm not done.
States for the last 6 years. He's believed to be linked to a series of threatening letters. Palestinian who's lived in the United States for the last 6 years. He's believed to be linked to a series of threatening letters written to various defense secretaries expressing outrage over the sale of missile systems and other weaponry to Israel. A handwritten note was found on Rabat's body.
Could you hold it up too, please?
Apparently, he intended it to be found after the shooting.
Commander, what's in the note, sir?
I can't disclose that until it's been studied by investigators.
And the plan I bought, that prairie populist who was criminally dismantling the entire...
Does that sound familiar? First and foremost, they mention a Palestinian and they mention Israel. Then they mention him leaving a note behind as if he wanted it to be found, which is quite literally what happened with Tyler Robinson, this mythical 17th century language that Tyler Robinson was allegedly using with his lover. Not to mention he also left the gun behind to be found. Anybody noticing the pattern? Then you had Erica Kirk to give her memorial speech, and I want you all to take a listen to what she had to say.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men, just like the one who took his life. That young man on the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate.
We gotta take one quick step back, G.
Criminally dismantling the...
Does that sound familiar? First and foremost, they mention a Palestinian and they mention Israel. Then they mention him leaving a note behind as if he wanted it to be found, which is quite literally what happened with Tyler Robinson, this mythical 17th century language that Tyler Robinson was allegedly using with his lover. Not to mention he also left the gun behind to be found. Anybody noticing the pattern? Then you had Erica Kirk to give her memorial speech, and I want you all to take a listen to what she had to say.
My husband, Charlie.
Happy. This
with him, the fanatical terrorist, he takes the rap. The air guard missile contract is approved, and I get enough money to finish the goddamn millennium. It was a good plan.
Did you hear that? But for the people in the back or the people who may not still understand what they just listened to, the first half of this clip was the commander or maybe the president talking about addressing the nation and saying that if you think that this was going to deter us, well, the opposite happened. This sounds almost identical to what Erica Kirk said during her tribute video to Charlie Kirk and to the nation right after he was assassinated. When she said in so many words, you've awakened something in this country and we're not going to stop. We're only going to get stronger. It literally sounds identical.
The evildoers.
This is my issue that I'm having right here. And I thought I was tripping. I just did a quick search. Quick search. Quick search. And if I'm wrong, cool. Easy correction. They already knew at this point when this happened that it was only one person. So why is she saying doers? When she made this, if I'm 95% sure from my memory. That's why I had to go do a quick search while y'all was watching. I didn't want to stop y'all from watching it, just so I could do the search. They already knew who it was who did the body dropping of Charlie, right? Because in the big profane Cash Patel speech, like Cash Patel had to run his fucking mouth, we caught him in 33 hours. You didn't catch a fucking thing. Relax. You didn't catch nobody. I highly doubt y'all caught somebody 33 hours. But either way, if this happened on the 10th, midday on the 10th, If you count 24 hours, they'd be midday on the 11th. So that's 24 hours. How many hours are left? 9? $33. My match is dog shit. Don't ask me for match. 33 minus 24. Yeah, 9. Okay, damn. I guess it ain't that much dog shit. So 9, that'd be 9 p.m. that night. Of the 11th. This speech happened on the 12th. Quick research. And it makes sense. It made sense of what I was thinking. This speech happened on the 12th. So it's way past the 33-hour marker. So y'all had already known it was one person that was paying to do it. So does she he still says
responsible for was assassinated. When she said in so many words, you've awakened something in this country and we're not going to stop. We're only going to get stronger. It literally sounds identical.
The evildoers.
She pluralized the word. Why did you pluralize the word?
Responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have.
This doesn't even sound. It has no. Like I said, I think I said all this already, dog. Which makes me weary about her specifically. It makes me look at her. This has no. I don't.
No idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world.
Just like the funeral thing. It had no emotion in it, dog. And if you're saying, Trin, you the one that's emotionless, I say, fair enough. I back the fuck out and I take the charge. But I've seen women cry. I've seen people break down. I've seen men cry and break down and howl like beasts crying. Dog, even today, the thought of my granny still makes me feel some type of way, bro. This has zero feeling, dog. This from my purview. And I'm not blaming nobody for a fucking thing. I'm not implicating nobody in nothing. I'm just saying from what I'm looking at, that is it. This should seem a little dry, a little calculated, a little too much direct. I don't think it's a time for power speech, but fuck it out. Hey.
You have no idea.
The last part of this clip that you're listening to is the president talking about how the fall guy and they had everything planned out. And I guess everything started to unravel, but I'm not done.
States for the last 6 years. He's believed to be linked to a series of threatening letters. Palestinian who's lived in the United States for the last 6 years. He's believed to be linked to a series of threatening letters written to various defense secretaries expressing outrage over the sale of missile systems and other weaponry to Israel. A handwritten note was found on Rabat's body.
Should you hold that up too, please?
Apparently, he intended it to be found after the shooting.
Commander, what's in the note, sir?
I can't disclose that until it's been studied by investigators.
And the plan I bought, that prairie populist who was criminally dismantling the...
Does that sound familiar? First and foremost, they mentioned a Palestinian and they mentioned Israel. Then they mentioned him leaving a note behind as if he wanted it to be found, which is quite literally what happened with Tyler Robinson, this mythical 17th century language that Tyler Robinson was allegedly using with his lover. Not to mention he also left the gun behind to be found. Anybody noticing the pattern? Then you had Erica Kirk to give her memorial speech, and I want you all to take a listen to what she had to say.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men, just like the one who took his life. That young man. That young man. On the cross, our Savior said, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Dog, it's a subtopic. I gotta run into this shit. I get it. It's in the good book. God's word, Jesus' word. Got it. I don't give a fuck. I could never. I'm fucked up then. Let it be me. Charge. I go see Allah, Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma, and Jesus about it. I ain't jacking that shit, dog. No. If y'all can, dog, big salute to y'all. I ain't fucking built like that, bro. I'm not built like that. I'm not built like that. I'm built to hate shit that needs to be fucking hated. Just that fucking simple. I'm built to hate motherfuckers who do hateful fucking shit. Just that fucking simple. I'm okay with that. I am absolutely okay with that. It's fucking horseshit to tell people you're supposed to forgive the fucking enemy and the people that violate you. That's fucking trash. I can't go for it, dog. If that's one of the issues I gotta take with me to the pearly gates, such is life. I'm taking an issue with me. I take the issue with me, dog. Can't. Now the difference is I'm not gonna dwell on it. I don't dwell on hating you. I don't wake up every morning and say I fucking hate rah 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 hate da 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 da. No, that's not what I'm doing. But I know for sure I hate it because of what it is. I hate it because of that's who the fuck you are. I hate you because you were this person. I don't dwell on it. I don't even waste time on it, G. I don't even waste fucking time on it. Let it sit where the fuck it is. But you can't tell me that I'm supposed to love my enemy. Nah. No. I just leave them where the fuck they be at, and I be where I be at. That's it. For real, for real. People hate people because they wear different colors, wear different baseball hats, and different NFL hats. People hate people because they got different skin colors. People hate people for all types of dumb shit instead of hating people for real shit. Motherfuckers hate motherfuckers for dumb shit, but never hate somebody for some real shit.
I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us.
How is this believable to anyone? How does she come out? How is this coming off? How don't you feel weird? How? When people started cheering up, I'm like, it's one thing to like make the crying face. Where are the tears? And even if tears came, let's go a step further. We're in 2025. We have advanced methods and strategies and approaches. They have perfumes that works and activates, like have you to react as if it's onions that they can spray on your clothes to make you water. I don't even think that the performance was that good. Not to mention, do y'all remember many years ago, there was this pastor or this preacher who went viral for stating that there was going to be a leader who was going to be very charismatic, that was going to change the trajectory of the United States of America and the world. And many people have said that basically it was Trump, saying that he was going to come like a trumpet. Well, that same person, or I believe it to be the same person, also gave a speech talking about a woman who was going to rise up and was going to be anointed and holy and have oil and was going to lead a nation and was going to come like a storm. And then we're back to this here. I want to talk a little bit about his hand sign because we know that this is the divine feminine. I won't go too much into it here, but we've talked about it on Patreon in my Shannon Sharp series. We've talked about it when I talked about Shabuzi. That's right, the country singer Shabuzi. We've talked about it when it comes to P. Diddy, who all religiously have made this hand sign, which is about the divine feminine, which in a wraparound way goes back to Jezebel and goes back to occultism. This movie, in my opinion rather, did not predict. The Illuminati card did not predict that Donald Trump would win, that Charlie Kirk would make the same post similar to the Illuminati card. The Simpsons and their episodes have not predicted anything. What these people are doing is they're planning and they're just laying out breadcrumbs. They're mapping out their plans to the world, putting it right in our faces. This is the time more than ever, and this is also a message to myself, to get in the scriptures, to read your Bibles, to try to get as close to God as you can. Because something is happening in this country, something is happening in this world that is so wicked and demonic, and we never know when our Lord is coming back. But I just pray that you all are prepared because I plan to be prepared myself. This is
Didi. The name's right there. Didi has a podcast or Didi with a podcast? Didi got a podcast. Shout out to you, bro. I respect. I think you have a level of intellectuality. I mean integrity and some smarts with you for sure. I ain't got no sticks or no static for you at all about none of this shit. People might be turned off because he's a Bible thumper, whatever the case is. I don't think he's a Bible thumper. I think he stands where he stands in his religious conviction, which is dope as fuck to me. If that's where you stand, that's where you stand at. People who have religious convictions tend to have like a sense of morality. Like, let's be honest. I say conviction, not just saying shit like I'm a Christian or I'm a Muslim or I'm a Buddhist. No. Would have the conviction of their religion. They tend to have a stronger moral compass. So big shout out to you, bro. Stay the course. I got another video of yours I'm gonna review that's pretty similar to this one. From FDNHT Trin. Big salute. My G, stay the course. He gonna call me a Mason now because I gave him the 2 fingers. He gonna say like, oh, this motherfucker's a Mason. But nah, big salute to you, bro. Stay the course. And that was it for real. That was it. We need to start looking at how things are engineered to create the stirs. I talked to y'all about vampirism already. I talked to y'all about social psyche already together. I talked to y'all about the social psyche already. I thought about Project Mockingbird over here already. These things are not disconnected. The next one I'm about to drop is why we have those sporadic pockets, which seems like senseless stuff, which seem to just have this great take and this grip on societies. I'm gonna leave you with this one right here. We always look at vampirism And we talked about vampires and we talked about blood, right? And we did the whole blood and how blood is sacred to the body and why vampires and werewolves love blood and all that other stuff. That was during the Halloween series. But let's talk about energy vampires and spiritual vampires. Think about them having the same ability to drain you, not your blood and your DNA, but the ability for them to drain you emotionally and suck the life forces out of you. Suck the spiritual energies out of you. Because it's not the physical vampire that we're used to seeing. It's not the physical Dracula. Think about Dracula as a ghost. Think about that. Think about Dracula as a ghost. Because he can't drain your blood. So he want to drain your soul energy. He want to drain your soul, your life source from you. You dig it? But that's it, man. That's all I got for the Village Gang tonight. Y'all know it's a love thing, bro. Anytime I pull up here and I hit the red button, I pull up in the town square. From the crown to the ground, you know how we get down. Take yourself so you take the people that surround you. Love yourself so you can love the people that surround you. CIP, I see you in the chat tripping out. And if I was going to have a show, I'd probably put you in timeout. But yes, women are, yes, they are. They are. They fucking sack vampires and wallet vampires. I know. A big salute to the Village Gang, dog. Y'all know it's a love thing. Every time you pull up in here, love yourself so you can love the people that surround you. Take care of yourself so you can take the people that surround you. This thing in life is not a sprint. It is a marathon. So train every day like the marathon is tomorrow. I'll see y'all soon. Me and Kofa got something coming up this weekend. Hit the buttons on the way out if you didn't hit them on the way in. You know, it's a love thing.